up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. We've been away for a while, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. It's me, Kevin, as usual. And first up, it's my co-host, it's Tibby.
That was just Star Wars.
Nice. So you have your own theme music. Yeah. How are you, dude?
It's alright. A bit tired, but I'm good.
Because it's a lazy Sunday.
Yes.
And it is coming towards the end of 2019 where everyone is on break and taking it a little bit easy. We've been off the air for about 2 months now because we've been busy preparing for our show, which happened on the 7th of December. It went great by all accounts.
Yep.
And it was excellent. And it was worth us not being on the air just, so that we could devote more time to it.
Yes.
All right. Today, as I mentioned, we're talking about Star Wars. Are you ready?
Star Wars, yes.
Ready? All right.
Yep.
Hang on. I have two more co-hosts.
Wait, what?
Up next, it's the other co-host of the podcast. He's back. It's Afif.
Hey.
What's up?
Good.
You've got your jacket on and everything. You're ready?
I'm just wearing this. I just got this from KL.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been traveling?
Well, with my family, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. How long were you in KL for?
A whole week.
That's too long to be
It's too long to be a holiday for me.
No,
it feels like work.
Too long to be in KL.
Too long to be in KL?
Yeah. I went to Malacca, but that's
okay.
all right.
That's my hometown.
Really?
Yeah, my family's from Malacca.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I still have family in Malacca.
I didn't know.
Well,
it's a nice city.
I never told you.
Now, the more you know.
The more you know. And finally, it's the other co-host on the podcast. She's back. It's Nazu.
Hello.
Hello.
You said Nazu. I was going to say hello, and then you said Nazu. And then I just automatically switched.
Sorry, I switched up on you. But it's good to know that you can think on your feet. And that's nice.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. It's been a good year.
You were also part of our big JIS show.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised that you were involved. Surprised about the show.
No, I was surprised that eventually it led to that. So
Wow.
yeah, but it was good. Yeah.
Very good. It was excellent. And hope we have more next year, 2020.
We shall see.
Yeah.
We're not going to be doing news because we've been so out of it. I have not been following Hollywood news except for, big news that's come out in major publications. We're not going to be doing big news. But let's talk about trailers that came out in the past week or 2 weeks. First up, it's a big one that came out. For me, it's Ghostbusters Afterlife. We got the first full trailer apart from that teaser we got a couple of months ago. And it's real. It's really happening. This is a direct sequel to the second Ghostbusters movie, featuring the original 4 Ghostbusters. Of course, Harold Ramis is no longer with us. But in this trailer, we see that it's a younger generation.
Yeah.
We see Finn Wolfhard, and there's a girl, I don't know her name. She apparently is the granddaughter of Egon Spengler.
Oh.
She
I
is.
don't know. I was too intense of trying to look for the Ghostbusters.
The original Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it's hinted at in the trailer where Finn Wolfhard's character, who's her brother, says that my mom won't say it, but we're totally broke and we're here in this small town because our grandfather passed away and he left us his house. And then the next scene, he falls down a shaft and they find this secret
Ghost
lair.
trap.
No, there's the secret lair where the first thing you see are spores and mold, in a collection.
Yeah.
And that harkens back to Egon from the first movie saying, I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
Yeah.
So that's their grandfather. So that's Egon. So he's the only original Ghostbuster, who's no longer with us, who's passed away.
Yeah.
And it would make sense to honor him in this way. What do you guys expect from this movie? Any of you guys Ghostbusters fans?
I love Ghostbusters.
I like them.
You like them. You don't love them.
I'm
I
not
love them.
I
fanatic.
liked the animated series.
Yeah.
Okay,
I used to watch
Yeah.
it a lot.
The
I-
real
I-
Ghostbusters.
The real
No.
Ghostbusters.
Not a huge
I
fan.
bought the comics back then in Tionghen. It was a while back.
Tionghen, bro.
Whoa.
They tore it down.
Yeah,
just turned out.
apparently. That's how old that was. Yeah.
It's a sad day. But anyway, the Ghostbusters came out in 1984. It was a phenomenon. It's nothing like the world had seen at the time. And we had that great first movie. The second movie was a little bit questionable. I don't know if this is the right sequel. And then we got a Ghostbusters movie apparently not in the same vein of the original two.
Not in the same world.
Yeah, that's in 2016, and it was all female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That had some backlash, but we're not going to talk about that. I mean, it is what it is. But now we're getting a Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I, for one, am like super excited because that's coming out in the summer of 2020. So that's like May, June, around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have a gunner seat on Ecto 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the trailer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the toy from the 80s had a gunner seat.
If I'm not mistaken, they do have
Yeah,
it.
they had a gunner seat, and we've never seen that.
It was never in the old movies.
Not in the movies.
No.
But it was a toy.
And I'm pretty sure it was in the cartoons.
It was, yeah.
That was in the cartoon.
It was in the
'Cause
cartoon.
I got the toy back then.
Yeah.
The-
There's a series on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. If you've seen the series The Toys That Made Us, they talk about all the toys that came out in the 80s and the early 90s. And, because we are of our age now, like, 30s, mid-30s, those, are a series for us. Like, these are the toys that made us. So they came out with a spin-off called The Movies That Made Us. And one of the movies is Ghostbusters, and you should watch it. Like, that's something I'd recommend. But we'll talk about that more in Upper Let Liat. Last week, we got a trailer for Top Gun Maverick.
Oof. Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Having mixed feelings about this.
This one, I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
you're looking forward. TV's looking forward. Fifth is kind of cautious.
Yeah.
But Naz
I'm
was.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, Naz initially was not.
Yeah, I remember
So,
that.
the trailer played, and we were in the cinema, and I was like, please don't take me to watch this movie. I whispered to Afif, and then after the trailer, I was like, I think I want to watch that. Yeah.
That is one of the things that sticks out. It's the
Yeah,
soundtrack
that's the soundtrack.
of
The
the,
same one.
old movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're bringing any of the songs back for this new movie, this sequel, but it's very obvious. It's 30 plus years on. Tom Cruise's character is still a captain. He's never progressed, and and I think it's by choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just wants to fly. He doesn't want to be an admiral or a general because they very rarely get to do what captains or
Maybe he's smart because the higher you go, the harder you fall, type of thing. He doesn't want to make big decisions.
Yeah,
just
that's
follow.
true.
So maybe that.
Or he just doesn't want to sit in the office. Simply that.
Could be.
Yeah.
I plus I don't think like someone like Tom Cruise / Maverick would be someone who'd be comfortable sitting in an office because that's just wrong.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
he wouldn't be called Maverick. You're Mave table. Yeah.
What?
Because he sits
at the table.
All right. I just got that. Wow, we've been so out of this. Anyway, so that's all we're going to talk about this week, unless there's any other trailers that we saw or any of you saw over the last couple of months.
The new rebranded Sonic.
Oh, right.
Yes, you're right. Let's talk about that. It's essentially the same trailer,
Yeah, just
Different soundtrack.
Sonic.
just with different soundtrack and the fixed Sonic.
And did you know the company that remade that movie went bankrupt?
What?
Oh, excuse me, what?
The graphic
The team?
Yeah.
graphic declared bankrupt right after they finished it.
But why? Wouldn't they have double charged?
Because that's just one of the office in the many company offices in
Okay.
the States. So specifically the one that made Sonic was shut down.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all.
I was reading a report that they were like working hard. Sometimes they didn't even have any weekends. They didn't want a day off because they had to meet the time.
Just to rush and
Yeah.
fix it.
And then they were announced that this part of the department is being shut down.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
They have like some office like Santa Fe,
Yeah.
office, and then
Like San Francisco, and then
San
they've got one in Los
Francisco.
Angeles,
Yeah,
and then
this specifically for Sonic, it got shut down.
wow. Okay, I did not read that because
I hope they do well.
Yeah, I
hope the movie does well.
I'm looking forward to Sonic because I played it a lot when I was young.
yeah,
So
you're
I
a big Sonic fan because you had the Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
like-
even if it was the bad version of Sonic, I would have still watched it.
that's how much of a fan you are. Okay, we got like an animated series back in the 90s.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys remember that?
Yes.
And then it became Sonic and Tails.
Yep.
Yep.
Which to me was okay. And it was like this whole thing about he loves chili dogs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just want to see whether all that translates to this live action movie
Yeah.
with James Marden, like Cyclops of all people, which is weird. And Jim Carrey,
And
who's
Jim Carrey,
back.
yeah.
You know, he's back to playing this
Dr.
kooky,
Robotnik.
weirdy character
Yeah.
who is Dr. Robotnik. All right. When's that coming out? Like in February?
I think so.
And
sometime next year.
End of February. So we've got maybe 2 months to go before we see Sonic. We'll be sure to give you a review on that. And I think that's it. That's all we're going to talk about. Like those are the trailers that hit us over the last 2 months or so. That brings us to our review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So, let's do a quick recap of the movie, and I'll do this.
Yes.
Please.
This movie is the 9th movie in the franchise. It is the close of the new trilogy, episode 7, 8, and 9. We started off with Force Awakens, which was a huge hit among all the fans. And then we got The Last Jedi in 2017. That proved a little bit divisive among the fans and the critics. And this year, 2019, we come to a close with The Rise of Skywalker. And the internet is divided. Like, you know, there are people who love this movie and there are people who are just disappointed and hate it. I'm a little bit more on the latter part of that argument. I mean, I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan. I like it, but I don't live and breathe it like some people out there. And I do have to say that having being a casual fan of the franchise, I'm kind of gutted by this because this movie does not live up to being the ending of a trilogy or a saga. It's sort of like a halfway thing where it's like, all right, you like the first one, you didn't like the second one, so here's the third one, and I hope it's okay. And
everyone likes it.
And that's my best description of this movie is that it's okay. We do join the characters and the cast members who we have become familiar with, like Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron, of course BB-8's in there just for a brief period. We've got a new
Kylo
droid.
and
I can't remember his name.
D something? Was it D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new cheese wheel droid. C-3PO is back and he has some character development. He has some arc there.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren, of course, is back.
Yeah.
And of course, this was a big reveal at Star Wars Celebration back in May. The Emperor is back. Emperor Palpatine is back for Episode 9. We'll talk about this more in spoilers, about why he's back on and how and what that means. But let's get the quick reactions from, let's start with TB.
I enjoyed the movie. It's not a great movie, but I still enjoyed it. So that's my summary.
That's your summary. That's your non-spoiler
Yes.
Yeah.
summary before we get
Yes.
into details. Fifth?
Well, when I entered the cinema, I don't expect a masterpiece, and I got just that. It's not a masterpiece. It's okay. Like TB, it's enjoyable as a movie itself, but if you combine it as a whole saga, well, it could be better.
Could be better. Right.
Could be better.
Could be
better.
which is the operative word for this episode. And of course, finally, Naz.
I really liked the movie, but not for the movie or the story. Yeah, I really liked the movie for the acting, the characters as well. There were a lot of character developments in this movie, which was not in the other movies. So I felt like it was a bit rushed, but not satisfactory. But I thought I was content with it because like there was development, especially for Kylo.
So to sum up, you're okay.
Okay.
If there was a fourth movie, this would have probably been better.
Yeah.
If there was
Like,
a...
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like they could have spent a lot of time in some things rather than just
Like rushing
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Feels like rush.
A lot of the scenes felt like it was cut short.
Yeah.
Like they in the beginning it was Kylo's scene with the Emperor, and then all of a sudden Kylo's scene with the Emperor, and then it just switched to something else.
Yeah.
Like there was no breathing time.
It's also kind of like a pacing thing. Like,
Yeah.
like it wasn't paced very
Well,
well.
yeah.
Like it was, the Emperor's here, and then and then something else, and then they're on like another planet, and it's a party planet.
Yeah.
And then boom, Lando's back. I'm like, what? What is happening?
Yeah.
We're branching into spoilers now.
Oh well, branching
yeah.
into it, but officially, like to recap.
Yeah.
So Tibby thinks it's okay. Fifth thinks it's okay.
It's okay.
Naz also, in general, thinks it's okay, although
Yeah.
she likes it not as a movie, just as like
Yeah, there were a lot of cool characters.
there were certain aspects that
Probably
that
not
you
the
liked.
storyline.
Yeah.
From
Not
the
a story.
storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acting good.
I think I've echoed that in my recap of it, and it's an okay thing.
Yeah.
With that, let's move on to spoilers. So this is a warning for you if you've not watched Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Go ahead and watch it, and then come back to this because we are going to be discussing key plot details for this movie. TB, your first spoiler sort of review and recap, and then we'll go on to our ratings.
I felt like they had so many things to write as a story, and then some key points they just, you know what, I don't know anymore. Let's just stick to Finn saying, "I have a feeling." It's like, how would you know that you need to destroy this thing? It's like, I have a feeling. Like, that's such a lazy writing.
Yeah.
So because they had to figure out for so many other things in the storyline, they make it short for this one. So again, like that's what I said. Like maybe if a fourth movie was there and they could have invested more time on this one, so it could be more threshed out.
Like cohesive, like
Yes.
like everything sort of adds up and makes sense.
Like that scene in where Poe Dameron met the lady in the Kaiza, what's her name?
Can't remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
she was trying to shoot him. 30 seconds later, it's like, you're all right. It's like, what? That was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's convenient.
Yeah. So if there was the fourth movie, they could have like dived deeper.
They could have.
this way.
So you what you're saying is you feel like this movie is a little bit rushed because
Yes.
they had too many things to talk about.
Yes.
And they had to fit it within that 2 hours and like 25 minutes or whatever it is. And they could have done a better job.
Yeah, and then I feel like Palpatine wasn't supposed to be in this movie,
Yeah.
and that's why Rey is the granddaughter for some odd reason.
That's a huge spoiler.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
huge spoiler.
Yeah.
Although we called it.
I didn't.
Oh, I did. Like
You did?
I didn't
I did.
want.
Yeah.
I didn't even expect that.
Like I was watching it and then
I hated that idea.
and then as the story was coming together, they were on that party planet.
Right.
And they were looking for the waypoint thing that would guide them to the Sith planet. And then they found the ship, and then she goes, "I've seen that ship," and I'm like, "Why would you have seen that ship?"
Huh.
Like that doesn't make any sense. And then I sort of harken back and go like, that was the ship. Like in her memory of the ship was flying. It's like, don't go, come back.
Right. When she was a kid.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hang on a minute. She
That
has
didn't click.
so she has a link to that ship, meaning that she has a link to the Sith.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I said to myself, I didn't say it out loud. I'm like, don't tell me she's Palpatine's granddaughter because we knew that Palpatine was coming back,
Right.
Yeah.
And we had already seen Palpatine at that point in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't tell me she's Palpatine's because I was thinking about The Last Jedi and how she's so connected to the dark side, and
Yeah, she is.
and her strength sort of comes from the dark side a little bit.
and you see the part where she was throwing powers as if it was similar to Palpatine.
And she had lightning.
The lightning.
And-
Yeah, that
the
was
Force
like, whoa.
lightning.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's a dark side power right
yeah,
there.
we've only seen that from the dark side. Like the Jedi don't have that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Like even Kylo was like, "What? No.
How'd you do that?
Teach me.
I'm the Sith here."
Fifth, like your
Right.
your spoiler takeaway from this movie.
I don't know. For me, the movie feels very cliched, but
Yeah.
they try not to put in cliched moments like comparable to other movies. Like I love the part where Rey faced Palpatine and all the Force ghosts started talking. I kind of wish the Force ghosts of all the Siths and all the Jedis appeared.
Oh,
That'd be
To
so
be
cool.
like a Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah.
Love
or
the
like the Harry
Rings.
Potter thing, like all the ghosts.
Or like in Dragon Ball where the dad gave power or
To
motivation
Gohan.
to Gohan to defeat Cell, something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's too cliche to put that in.
Yeah.
Although it would be visually spectacular, but I don't know. I think the writers are at the point where they don't want to repeat that. So
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know.
That's what I feel about it. Yeah.
So yeah, to go back to your non-spoiler like take on it, like because of all these things, everything could have been done just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which sort of leaves it as like a okay,
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
okay.
it's just
Yeah.
okay,
Enjoyable, but okay.
enjoyable, but okay.
The fight scenes are not as great as the second
It's
movie.
Yeah.
surprisingly slow. They
Yeah.
swung very slow.
They
Like,
swing very,
But it's not like cool.
yeah.
They can make it slow, but
it's
also
not
make it
episode one
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Naz.
I feel like Emperor Palpatine is like the go-to Mr. Phil the plot hole guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but to fill a plot hole, you need more depth in the story, which this lacked. Like, it was just like, oh, here's Palpatine. He's gonna fix everything that's bad about episode 7 and 8.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, I felt like this movie was here to fix what was wrong with the previous movies. Which is kind of sad because then you don't really feel like the story at all in the 9th movie. So all I cared about was the acting, and some scenes were really good.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to know what they actually wanted to do with Rey. Like, who was she before this story?
Before the whole,
Yeah.
being
Like,
granddaughter
who
of
were the
Palpatine.
parents
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah.
They wanted to make the parents. Now it's just, Palpatine's the son.
And then he just killed his own son.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, even Rey's backstory, they just rushed through it. It
Yeah.
was kind of sad. But I really love Babu Frick. He was like best scene stealer.
Everyone likes.
Let's talk about Babu Frick. Okay.
He's like an essay, like a Mexican.
I'm Babu Frick.
Yeah, hey man, look, I'm gonna fix your stuff. Like, he's like that guy, but he's so small.
but
6 inches.
it's like a tiny thing. And I said it, like he looks like a gremlin.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like a gremlin with a hat. But like a much cuter gremlin, like a in between like Gizmo and like the mutated
Yes.
gremlins after they eat.
Yeah.
He's like the in between because he's scaly. He's got like reptile skin.
Yeah.
But he's this tech wizard who they bring C-3PO to reboot his memory.
So
and
you can read
Oh,
Sith
yeah.
language.
Because apparently, C-3PO can read Sith, which
Yeah.
is cool.
But he had like a lock on it. Like,
Yeah.
like a,
Programming disallows him to.
Wait, there's no other way for us to read the map. Yeah, it's all stuck in my memory.
I thought C-3PO was one of the best part of the movie,
Yeah.
the acting.
It's kind of funny to see that the actor who plays C-3PO, Anthony Daniels,
Yeah.
he's been in all 9 movies.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah,
Like all 9.
That's crazy.
So he's the only one
Yeah, from the originals.
from the originals.
Yeah.
Even
And Palpatine.
even from
Oh, wait, he's
episode
not in all of them.
even from episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah, he was in-
he
Yeah.
was in all of it.
So good.
All right. So let's bring this to a close. Like I mentioned, the internet is now divided. People are divided. Fans are divided. This is like a 9th movie, and from what I gather, there are people in my friend list on Facebook and Twitter who are not fans, and they have praised this movie. They're like, "Oh, this is like one of the best Star Wars movies I've watched." Yada yada yada, because it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's really
I'll
fun.
give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of, what did you call it? A lot of fan service.
Yeah, fan service.
Yeah, fan service.
In my opinion, too much.
Too much.
Came to a point.
For certain things,
Yeah.
It's as if Disney and Lucasfilm was scared to do something different for this movie, where they went, you know what? The last time we did this, they hated us, so let's play it safe and let's
Yeah.
go like, You remember?
You remember this?
Yeah.
You remember this thing?
I feel like they're going the Marvel route. Like, it was very Marvel movie, like Avengers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, every time something we see from an older movie, everyone would go like, "Whoa!"
Yep.
It's too bad though, because I feel like they wanted to do something new with Rey and Finn,
Yeah.
but then no one liked it.
Yeah.
No, nothing. You don't touch whatever Skywalkers before did. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of Skywalker, the movie is called The Rise of Skywalker, and in this movie, at the end, we find out why.
Yeah.
It's because after all that, after Rey single-handedly defeats the Emperor, who we have not talked about the plot of this movie, was to raise up, or for the past 30 years or so, since the last movie, when the whole universe thought he was dead, he was building a fleet of like these super star destroyers that were Death Stars on their own.
How we don't know.
Each with world destroyer weapons.
Yeah, so he had a whole fleet of world destroyers
Hidden underwater.
In the mountains.
I think it was
no?
like ice.
Ice?
Isn't it
Yeah,
mountains?
they all came up.
Yeah, both.
And I'm sorry to say, but in a galaxy far, far away, where the Star Wars story takes place, we've seen that they have technology that we don't have here at all. Like there are things in this series that is like, whoa, like lightsabers, that's new. We don't have that, and that's apparently an ancient weapon. But what sort of made me go, what, was when they were trying to mobilize the fleet, and they had like one satellite, and they're like, because all these Star Destroyers can't navigate, if we take out that one satellite,
conveniently just
it will disable everything. And I'm like, no, we have GPS.
Yeah.
That made no sense to me. A lot of these things in this movie were left to convenience.
Yes.
Just to make it
was
convenient.
Maybe the tower is like more towards recall back from previous movies, because the previous movie also was like, oh, we need to destroy one tower.
A single
Rogue
weakness.
One. Yeah,
a
Rogue
single
One.
weak point. So this is
It's like
that.
callback, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars thing.
Because
Look,
the engineer must always have a weak spot. Because the engineer is a good guy. It's just like,
And then he
if
decided
this is used for bad,
I would have one tower.
only I know, and I'll tell the world.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
So that's the plot of the movie. Going back to what we were talking about before this, why it's called The Rise of Skywalker. It's because, this is a big point. We lost Luke in the last movie, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And in this movie, we lose Leia as
Chewie.
well.
No.
Well, we thought we lost Chewie.
I hate them. They played with our feelings.
But I saw it coming. I was like,
I was like, nah, he's
nah,
not dead.
he's not dead.
I was fooled by it.
See, the Rey's never gonna kill Chewie.
Well, yeah, she's not, that's too heavy of a burden for her.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because if that really happened, then she might have turned
Turn
to
the dark side. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, at the end of everything, she goes back to Tatooine to bury the two lightsabers that belong to Luke and Leia. She buries them in Luke's home,
Yeah.
which is that moisture farm that we saw in the very first Star movies back in 1977, Episode 4, A New Hope, where Aunt Beru and Uncle, I can't remember his name now, they were drinking blue milk. That's the same place. I mean, they recreated it for this movie, which was fan service once again.
Yeah.
And then there's like a lady that walks by, and the lady says, oh, no one's lived there for years. Who are you? And she says, I'm Rey. And then she looks right. And the young Force ghosts of Luke and Leia appear to her, like egging her on, like, yes, say it. And she says, you called it out.
Like, Rey Skywalker.
And 3 seconds later, she goes, I'm Rey Skywalker. And both of us were like, ah!
Yeah. I thought she was gonna say she was Palpatine. It was.
She would be gutted
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'd
Her
be-
parents are Palpatine.
yeah, I'd be
Oh, right.
proud to be like a Jedi who was from a Sith background but actually fought the dark side. You know, if I were.
But it doesn't sound nice.
Yeah. Like my.
Rey Skywalker sounds nicer. Also.
Here's another thing that I just thought of now. In the first prequels, like the first trilogy, which was the prequels, there was a lot of emphasis about balancing the Force. Like there has to be balance in the Force.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the second trilogy, which was the original trilogy, again, a lot of emphasis was placed on balancing. That's why, Anakin ended up becoming Darth Vader. Like he started off as a Jedi, and then to balance it out, he eventually became like the part of the dark side.
Yeah.
And then we have Luke, who balances that all out again and turns him back to the good side. In this latest trilogy, we don't have any balancing of
That's what
the
I
Force.
said. It probably had before they rewrote.
Oh yeah, probably.
There was no emphasis on anything
Balance.
that the Star Wars trilogies have been preaching
That's true.
for the last
Kylo Ren
40
has
years.
always been in the middle.
Yeah, he's always
I want to be bad, but no.
He's the balance.
he's the balance. But then there's Rey.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is controversial on its own, and it's something that I hated in this movie, which was the part where Kylo Ren saves Rey at the end of her battle with the Emperor, and she's given it her all. She's lost her life. She's dead. And we see this, and it's confirmed because she goes pale and okay, she's clearly dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to repay whatever Rey did for Kylo earlier on in the movie, when he dies and she shares her life force and brings her back, he does the same thing. And I'm like, in my head, like, did you look this up online? Like,
How did you learn?
How did you learn this? One. And two, that kiss.
Unnecessary.
I was so angry at that kiss. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Why did we need it?
Yeah, exactly. There
Did you forget? Was Finn a joke to you?
I wa-
Flirt with Poe too.
And also, if she died, why didn't she disappear?
no, yeah, you're right.
Or she was almost gonna disappear. Maybe.
maybe.
There's so many questions that we could ask about this movie and where the franchise will go in the future. Although this week at the premiere, Bob Iger, the president of Disney, was asked, what's the future for Star Wars, and his answer was a little bit cryptic. But he said something along the lines of, we may not do trilogies going forward. We'll just do standalone films. Kind of like Rogue One and Solo, which by all accounts are not bad movies. It's just that they didn't do very well at the box office, which is why, Disney, being the money-making machine that it's supposed to be, probably said, those are failures, let's do something else. But now they seem to be good. I think Disney is just too in tune with the fans.
Yeah.
So they got back out, like they came out with Force Awakens, and fans loved it because there was a lot of fan service, and it was essentially a rehashing of A New Hope. All the same people are in that movie, including Han Solo, Chewbacca, we've got R2-D2, C-3PO, everyone's in there. And we have the same archetype of a character in Rey, in which she's from this planet. She's never left the planet, just like Luke. It's a desert planet, just like Tatooine. And critics were very not unforgiving for that movie. They were like, look, that's a rehash of episode 4. So what are you all so excited about? And then they took it in another direction for episode 8, The Last Jedi, where everything was, flipped over, and they put Rian Johnson in charge of it. And he went, yeah, I'm going to flip this whole genre. And the fans hated it because it was what it was. But critics loved it. They were like, this is a reinvention of the Star Wars. It's a rejuvenation of the franchise. This is a new direction, yada, yada, yada. Now we come to episode 9, the close of the saga, and it's back in J.J. Abrams' hands because Disney initially had Colin Trevorrow direct this film. The guy who directed Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And midway, because of what quote-unquote creative differences, he left the project and it was handed back to JJ. And what we got was kind of like a middle.
Yeah.
Like,
it was trying to be safe.
It was trying to be safe, which to me is not how you end like a saga or even a trilogy. And that's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. It could have been so much better depending on where they wanted to land and take the story. But you're right. Like what you said earlier on in the review, this Emperor thing felt like
just to fill in the
we need a MacGuffin
Yeah.
to be the ultra bad guy.
Yes.
And everything that is to blame is because of him.
Yes.
He exists.
Like, why couldn't we get another new, villain that
We had Empress Snoke. We had Snoke.
Which was him, like a clone.
which was him.
his
Yeah, he was controlling Snoke. And in my head, why?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I want to know all about this guy, Snoke. Because episode, what, 7?
7.
7,
It was
yeah.
just a little bit about
A little bit of him,
I
and
wanna
then
know why is he evil?
and then in 8 he gets chopped.
What? He's just like that?
Yeah. There was one character where I was a little bit. I thought to myself, that's a huge missed opportunity, and that was in the beginning of the film. We are made aware that there's a spy in
Yeah.
the New Order,
Yeah.
and midway in the film, we find out that spy is General Hux.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the commander initially of the Starkiller base in episode 7, and then he loses his, I guess, position of command in episode 8, and then now he's sort of just like a normal admiral,
Yeah.
whatever. He's the spy, and I'm like, wait, hang on a minute. There's a whole backstory to that. Like, what intel has he been giving them?
Yep.
How has he been giving them? How long has he been doing this? You know, and that's all just. It's just treated as like
Nothing.
yeah, he's the spy. That's it. And then he's very promptly killed in the next scene,
Yeah.
which it's a waste. It's such a waste. And
Could have been a really good plot twist.
it could. Okay, I guess we'll give our ratings for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Let's start off with Tibi.
Unbiased, 7 out of 10. Biased,
7 out of 10.
8 because I like the franchise.
1 point. All right, cool.
yes.
Fifth.
6.
6.
6 Babu Fricks.
You give 6 babu freaks. Okay, 6. Naz.
7 Ray lightsabers out of 10.
Ray lightsabers. Oh, the
Is it
yellow one.
the
The new
yellow
one.
one?
You know why? It's because they need to sell toys.
Yeah.
And there's no better way to sell toys than
And a
to have
different color lightsaber.
a new color lightsaber. There you go.
I wish they had a black lightsaber. That would be so cool.
How can black glow?
Exactly. Like we would have seen it if they made one.
Ooh, you know why? Like it's black because like the what it's made of is like black holes.
Oh yeah, and instead of like cutting people, it just sucks.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this movie a 5.5 out of 10 because although it is a divisive movie among critics and fans, it's still an okay time. And I have to say, I did enjoy myself for most of the movie, except for the parts where I just questioned it, going like, really,
Why?
you decided to go with that?
Yep.
So I'm giving this a 5.5, but you be the judge and go and watch it. It's now in local cinemas here in Brunei. And it's depending where you land on the Star Wars fan spectrum, you're gonna think about this movie differently. Like if you're a super ultra mega fan, you're probably gonna hate this. If you are a casual fan like myself and everyone in this room, we're sort of like, yeah, it's okay. And if you are a non-fan at all, you're gonna think this is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick apa lihat right after this.
Oi, apa lihat-lihat? Apa lihat-lihat? Hoi, kan semua kan? Apa lihat-lihat?
Apa lihat-lihat? 你看什么看？
Apa lihat-lihat? See what see? Xiao liao.
Yep, that's right. It's apa lihat and it's what else we have been watching. Tibi, apa lihat?
I mean, I'm sure everyone is watching it right
Yeah.
now. It's The Witcher.
The Witcher.
The
I haven't
series.
finished it. I haven't
Yeah,
finished
Yeah.
the series on Netflix.
Not Netflix. And apart from that, no. I'm just
Yeah.
on the... I finished The Ranch.
Finally.
Duran.
There's one more season coming out. And the final
That's
season.
still going?
Yeah, because what's the name? Danny Masterson.
Okay.
The guy from 70 Show.
Yep.
Who was fired from Netflix
Wow.
of sexual...
Is this a Me Too thing?
Yeah. kind of thing.
Okay.
So they replaced him with this guy who's not bad. It's not that 70s show. It's like the guy who replaced what's his face? Topper Grace.
Yep.
Was really bad. But this one he did okay, and then I really wanted to watch it until the end. And
Because you've been a fan of The Ranch ever since it
Yes.
came out like a long time ago.
It's fun. It's
Okay.
fun.
All right. Afif, apa lihat?
Yeah, I think TB mentioned it. I watched The Witcher yesterday.
You finished it.
Finished
Like,
it.
you
Finished
binged
Season
it,
1.
right?
Yeah, we binged it.
It's only 8 episodes.
Only 8.
Yeah. Okay.
It felt it gave me like this nostalgic feeling. Have you guys ever watched Hercules during Star Plus or Star World back then?
I don't
It
remember.
felt just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Mention it.
It
It does.
makes me feel like a kid.
Ah.
Like those Hallmark movie TV series.
Yeah.
But with better graphics
And acting.
Like there's a lot of budget in this because
Yeah.
my sister's watching it and I sort of glanced at it as I was coming in at the house yesterday. And I said, "Oh, this is the Witcher thing. It's out. Okay. That does not look like Henry Cavill."
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
okay.
You know, we will for Mila. I will never refer to him as Superman anymore.
Exactly.
'Cause
Which is
He really portrayed it well
Yeah.
for me.
Geralt of Rivia.
Oh, his hum.
He talks like
Yeah.
this.
Spoiler free review. Henry Cavill's portrayal is really good.
How much you
All
guys
the
rate
acting.
this? Because you guys finished.
I will give it an 8.
7.5.
that's quite high.
But there are certain characters who are really annoying. Like and they're not even like a video game accurate. Like the way they're being portrayed. But I'm not gonna say who.
I think they have to serve the story
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in
The
some
story.
way. Yeah.
And I believe a lot of people feel this way, that the timeline, it's not in chronological order, so every episode is going to be a different time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You-
So just a warning for people who want to watch
You'll
it.
find
It's
out.
not in chronological order, so yes, you will be confused until episode 7 or 8.
And 8, the
Right.
final one.
That's when it all makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
'Cause-
But it's
'cause-
going to be super confusing.
Because I'm not a Witcher fan. Like I've never played the games, although I have seen my sister playing it. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, fine. It's this thing where you're in this world and
Yeah.
you can conjure up spells and
monsters.
stuff,
Yeah.
and there are
Yeah.
monsters. So I don't know much about this world, but I may check it out.
Yeah, just check it out.
All right. Naz, anything else you've been watching besides The Witcher?
Oh yeah, it was a rom-com movie. Can You Keep a Secret? Don't watch it. I give it like a 4 out of 10.
4 out
It's
of 10.
basically this girl who meets a guy on an airplane and she thinks they're
Yes.
about to crash.
I've seen it. It's
Yeah.
Alexandra Daddario.
Yes. I watched it for her.
Yeah.
And no, the guy who plays Superman in Supergirl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyone watch the Christmas rom-com?
Last Christmas?
Yeah,
I haven't yet.
yet.
But
The Henry Golding
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh no, I did not. Yeah.
Because it's a rom-com, so I'm not going to watch it.
oh, okay.
You're gonna wait.
I'm gonna maybe catch
Maybe
it.
you watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to me, I've watched a bit in the 2 months that we've been off. There is a series that I just told you about before we started recording, and it's Don't F with Cats. It's on Netflix. It's about a serial killer and how this group of cat lovers got together, and because there were videos being uploaded online about this guy killing cats and whatnot, and it led to them assisting to catch this guy who ended up being an actual murderer. Go and watch it. It's on Netflix. It's a little bit hard to swallow, but it's a good watch.
It's like a documentary, right?
It is a documentary. I've watched some of the big movies that have had great reviews come out over the last couple of months. I watched Parasite, which is a Korean movie.
I've heard so much about that.
I don't watch a lot of Korean stuff, but this came very highly recommended by online reviews and
Is it
whatnot.
on Netflix? No.
No, it's not on Netflix, so I had to find it some other way.
Okay.
But it's great. Like, it really gets under your skin. You are glued to the screen the whole time, and the story just it's really hard hitting. Okay, so check it out if you can. I also checked out what was it? This other series, The Mandalorian.
Oh, yes.
We have not talked
Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah,
The
The
Mandalorian.
I
Mandalorian.
am yet to see
I
that.
I watched until episode 3 so far. So far, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Really?
It's as far removed from the Star Wars lore as anything we've gotten like on TV
Wow.
and
Yep.
and movies. There's nothing mentioned about Luke or whatever. This is just
Star Wars Universe.
Mandalorian.
which is the Mandalorian, and think of it as a space cowboy thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Where every episode it's like a different story.
I was telling off if you do like Western movies.
Yeah, I
this
do.
is Western in space.
In space.
That's even better.
Even when he comes into like a room, the door opens.
Really? Now I need to watch it.
You need to watch it. So
Oh, man.
we don't have access to Disney Plus here
Yeah.
in Brunei just yet, but there are ways to get it. I'm not going to tell you how. And I think that's it. That's it. We've done this episode.
VPN. You can VPN.
Yeah, VPN. You can
All
VPN
right.
it and sign up for Disney Plus. give the House of Mouse more money. But that's going to be it for the year 2019. I think this is going to be the last episode we have. We're so sorry that we've been off the air for the last couple of months, but it was because we were tied up with other things. We'll see you next year in 2019. 2020. What am I talking about?
Almost next year.
We'll see you next year in 2020. It's going to be a great year for movies. For me, Kevin, this is the Wayang crew signing off. I'd like to thank Tibi, Afif, and of course, Naz for joining me on this review. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.